Okay, so my name's Rebecca. I study French and Linguistics and I'm in my first year here at Oxford.
I'm Mick. I'm at Balliol, and I study law.
So I'm Chris McGarry. I'm studying maths at Merton College. I'm in my third year of an undergraduate course.
Hi, I'm Shona. I'm a second year English and Italian student at Keble College, Oxford. I think the internet has made my life better in lots of ways, and that I use it to kind of inform my opinions and to inform my kind of attitudes. I think it's the main way I get my news, main way I find out what's going on around me, particularly at university. So many events that are run at university are advertised using the internet, using social media. I think it's really kind of enriched my understanding of the world in lots of ways, but the reason for that is that I think I've kind of learned to use it responsibly, and that's taken time. So it is quite a nuanced question. It's difficult to say for sure, but I'd say overall it has improved my life.
So I'd say it definitely does. So it simplifies a lot of, say, administrative and research things. So, I mean, yeah, so I'd say like having access to documents really easily is very useful. For example, like all my lecture notes, like the printed lecture notes are online, and the past exam papers. So like at the moment, all my study is based on, well, PDFs that the university's put out for me to study from, rather than me having to like carry around large amounts of paper, which would be quite heavy and inconvenient when I want to study, and then having to like go places physically to get them and all that kind of stuff is just a lot easier when you have the internet. So I'd say the internet makes a lot of things like that easier.
It's a tough question to answer just because I don't have a counterfactual kind of alternative life in which I don't have the internet, so I can't really compare. But I guess if I had to think about it, I would say probably yes. The most immediate ways in which I think the internet does benefit my life would be it gives you pretty easy access to realms of knowledge or social groups that would otherwise be quite difficult to get to. So for example, if you belong to a social group where it's not really easy to find support in most of society for you, whether it's because you have a very specific hobby, or you're LGBT, or a racial minority or religious minority, and the internet kind of allows you to find like-minded people or other people who might be struggling, where the other people don't understand you.
Also, say planning travel, you can research places that are far away from you a lot more easily. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a lot easier, say, for international students who are coming to the university to have a good picture of what the United Kingdom's like and Oxford's like before they come here, a lot better than they could have in the past. They would have had to probably rely on, say, printed prospectuses and other small amounts of information. So I'd say that's a significant advantage of the internet.
When I was thinking about this, my first thought was yes, absolutely, but then there's other things I think I'm probably not as productive because of it. I probably spend too much time wasting my time on there. But overall, I would say that the internet does make my life better. It expands people's horizons so much. So many things that we couldn't do if we didn't have the internet. Can you imagine what modern medicine would be like without it? Can you imagine what it'd be like trying to research something or find information on something? The internet makes information so accessible to everyone, and I think it does improve life in that way.
If the internet stopped working tomorrow, what would I be able to do? Well, I find it very hard to keep in more regular contact with my friends and family back home in Singapore.
And there are definitely things that we can do because we have the internet that we couldn't do otherwise. The obvious answer, I suppose, is just how powerful search engines are. Like as a university student, accessing information for an essay is just so like immeasurably so much quicker and more efficient because I can use Google and find such kind of breadth of information really, really quickly without kind of scouring through manually loads and loads of library books trying to find like the key information that I need.
So there's a lot of kind of new industries are possible. One exceptional example I'd say is dockless vehicle sharing. So things like Mobike and these bikes that you can just pick up and ride and leave anywhere else, and then with the internet the next person can find them and they can bill you for your ride and so on. This enables a whole new form of transportation that would based on, well, the hardware is just a bike and a lock, but with the digital technology and the internet means that this can be used in a much more efficient kind of shared way, and it provides a completely new options for transport. So this is an example of a thing that wouldn't be possible without the internet, and I'm sure there's lots of things like that.
Probably overall, my quality of life would decrease just because the internet's so embedded in like the deeper systems on which I'm dependent for a good life, like yeah, transport, healthcare, worldwide travel, that kind of stuff. But yeah, more immediately, it's probably the social thing that will drop. And also, I guess, yeah, studies might be a bit harder because I can't search library catalogs and download PDFs. Everyone will be fighting over a physical copy of a book. So that's the more immediate stuff that comes to mind.